Armageddon 2003 was the 4th Armageddon pay-per-view and an exclusive Raw pay-per-view taking place on the 14th of December 2003 at the TD Waterhouse Center in Orlando, Florida in front of 12,672 fans and with 411,000 people watching worldwide on pay-per-view. Lillian Garcia sings the USA National Anthem. Bubba did it better, of course. A good video opening package, very Armageddon/apocalyptic-esque. Match 1, Mark Henry vs Booker T. A solid yet uninspiring match. Booker did well and fought hard and never gave up, eventually overcoming the big man. Mark wasn't bad here at all, a couple of iffy moments but overall was fine, with some very good looking power moves which hit hard. Booker T wins with a scissors kick. Yeah, solid opener, rating a C. Christian and Chris Jericho talk about their match tonight. They're speaking with Eric Bischoff. It is the battle of the two sexes as they face off against Trish and Lita. Christian is hyped and ready. Jericho seemingly doesn't want to go ahead with it. I smell a face turn. Mick Foley, who is the new co-GM of Raw, arrives and he has good news. The petition to bring back Stone Cold has 1 million signatures. And as a celebration, he brings out Stacy Keibler. Thank you, Mick. She is wearing a cheerleader outfit. Oh, I love skirts. She does some cartwheels, showing off her pink panties.
The first thing you need to know is, I have an erection.
She is feeling cheeky. Randy Orton ruins the fun and comes out and berates Mick. In retaliation, Mick makes himself the referee for the next match. Match 2, the Intercontinental Championship, Randy Orton vs Rob Van Dam. This was a mixed bag for me. There was a lot of good in this, but also a lot of letdowns. For example, RVD's selling was really good. He made stuff look impactful and painful. His comeback moments were also well done. On the flip side, there were about 5-6 minutes of chinlock action, way too much. It was way too much and really hurt the pacing of the match. And it dragged in moments, but there was also some good action and solid work in selling. In the end, Randy Orton won with the RKO. A tough match to rate, but I think a C+ is the most fair. Match 3, Trish Stratus and Lita vs Christian and Chris Jericho, Battle of the Sexes. This match is taking place as Jericho had been hitting on Trish, and Christian did the same to Lita. Matt Hardy broke up with Lita and Lita got fired, but Christian used a favour that Bischoff owed him to get Lita rehired. Jericho had been courting Trish for weeks and going on dates with her, but it turns out it was a bet on who could get in their panties first for $1 Canadian, basically like 2p. It is very hard to make intergender matches look good and sustain believability due to the gender biological differences. But this was well done. Lita and Trish didn't magically overpower them. They used Christian and Jericho's cockiness to gain control and used their speed and agility to escape and maneuver their way into some offense. Obviously it doesn't last and the guys can easily outpower and beat them up. Early on, a lucky Jericho spanks Trish. Christian strips Lita's top off. Yes sir, keep going.
Ooh, kaboobie!
Unfortunately he doesn't and gets kicked in the plums. The girls did get some good hype spots and near falls, bending the rules a bit and using teamwork, but in the end, obviously the guys win with Jericho feeling sorry for Trish, but Christian rolling her up and celebrating like he did something amazing.
Let me ask you a question. Why are you such a dick?
Really well performed and booked match with a good story going in. Christian is the perfect slime ball. And it's very funny seeing Christian like celebrate beating a woman in a sport in 2025 that's apparently commonplace. Rating a B+. Match 4, Shawn Michaels vs Batista. This continuing the Triple H vs Shawn Michaels eternal feud, with Batista being a member of Evolution. Batista is the one who made Shawn Michaels lose at Survivor Series. A solid video package to set this match up. I forgot how before he had I Walk Alone, Batista still had a similar but epic instrumental song with amazing guitar. Someone needs to make a mashup between the two songs if they haven't already. Shawn Michaels frustrates Batista using his speed and ring smarts, but Batista uses his immense power to dominate Shawn. Shawn made Batista, who was very green at the time, looked very good. The crowd was electric for Shawn's comeback, which was well cut off with a Batista spinebuster. I loved the ending as Shawn Michaels won by the skin of his teeth. Always love those sweet chin musics out of nowhere where he just falls over the guy to get the win. Batista didn't lose anything in this defeat. Nothing amazing, but solid work. Rating, a C+. Post-match, Batista doesn't realise he lost, and then when told, he goes berserk. Maven comes out for his scheduled match with Matt Hardy, but Batista is still in the ring and fuming. Matt and Maven fight on the ramp. Matt throws Maven in the ring and Batista takes out his anger on him. The match gets cancelled. Matt pins and counts his own pin and celebrates like he won the Champions League. Flair pumps up Batista backstage and Rick hints that he has a surprise for him and they are not leaving empty-handed tonight. Match 5, World Tag Team Championship. La Resistance versus the Dudley Boys versus Garrison Cade and Mark Jindrak versus Lance Storm and Val Venus versus Rosie and the Hurricane versus Scott Steiner and Test in a tag team turmoil match. We begin with La Resistance. Ooh, Frenchies. And the superheroes to save us, the Hurricane and Rosie. They have been very funny, by the way. Rosie's comedic timing is surprisingly good. Hurricane has an awful slip up which looked bad, and Dupree takes a hell of a bump to the outside. Overall, it was a fast paced and okay beginning. Hurricane wins it for his team, then Cade and Jindrak, the team of blandness, come in and immediately roll up Hurricane to progress. Next is Lance Storm and Val Venus, and more importantly, the Hose. It is some basic action as Cade and Jindrak sadly progress with their bland energy. Dudley's are next to bring some life to the match. They do try, but it's hard to care about this. Jindrak is taken out with a 3D. Steiner and Test are next. Yes, they are teaming now as Steiner turned heel. It does slightly improve here as Steiner and Test are at least interesting. Steiner and Test cheat, but eventually Devon pins Test to win the match and retain. Or so they think. Eric Bischoff storms out and another team is added to the match. Batista and Ric Flair. Of course, they win. This wasn't great. Cade and Jindrak took up a lot of time and just had zero charisma, and their blandness hurt this a lot. When they got eliminated, it picked up. Test and Steiner versus the Dudleys was a solid little match. The ending with Batista and Flair was what it was. A mixed bag. Rating just scrapes a C-. Match 6, Women's Championship, Molly Holly versus Ivory. Nifty little match, nothing was bad at all, but it was just a whelming match. Basic stuff done well. A filler match if I've ever seen one. The ending was decent with a good near fall for Ivory. Great cleavage from Molly Holly, and Ivory looked great as usual. Rating a C-. Main event, World Heavyweight Championship, Triple H versus Goldberg versus Kane. We get the best video package song of all time. The end is here. It always makes an epic video package. It just gives me goosebumps and so hyped. Really, this match shows how epic theme music used to be. We got that song, then we got Slow Chemical, The Game, and then Goldberg's epic theme song. Man, what happened to wrestling music is just so sad. Triple H has finally ditched the biker shorts. Goldberg is super over here. 3 big dudes hossing it out. All action, and it was quite fun. Yes, there were a few ugly moments, but it wasn't a bad match at all. Triple H and Kane work together, but of course it doesn't last and they begin fighting. We even got a chokeslam on the ramp. Goldberg's comeback late on the match was good as well. I did not like the ending though, as Triple H regained the World Heavyweight Championship.
That's bullshit! I am reality!
Rating a C. Overall, I think this show was a mixed bag. There was nothing too amazing on it, but nothing too abysmal on it either. So I'll give the rating a C overall. My favourite match, the match of the night, was actually the Battle of the Sexes between Trish and Lita versus Christian and Chris Jericho. Surprisingly, really well done and good story told match. Worst match tonight was the Tag Team Turmoil. Cade and Jindrak really brought that one down. Huge. Moment of the night, there wasn't much to choose from, but I guess I'll give it to Christian taking Lita's top off. I popped big for that. And the sexy moment of the night goes to Stacy Keibler's upskirt. I mean, they could be interchanged, both those, but those were the best moments. MVP awards. Remember, only one person per match can get an award. The bronze medal is going to go to Rob Van Dam for a solid performance. The silver medal goes to Shawn Michaels for making Batista look really good. And the gold medal and MVP goes to Christian for being a great slime ball in his match. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, share and subscribe and all that stuff. I know none of you will do it and none of you are listening right now, but I'll say it anyways.
Peace out, my brothers.